Hello and welcome to another Whiskey Review with me, the Whiskey Novice. Thank you for joining me for review number 162. And we're back in the sweet shop for a whiskey that is... Sorry, when I said sweet shop, I meant figuratively, not literally. Sort it out. Thank you. Don't come in on Monday. Sorry, a whiskey, as I was saying, from GlenAllachie. This time, the GlenAllachie 13 Rioja Finish. A Rioja wine finish from it. Now, I bought this a year or so ago, last year, 2021, when I was in Scotland. I was in the distillery, and I bought this bottle. And I didn't realise at the time, actually, it was limited. It's indeed limited. It was limited to 6,000 bottles. Now, that's not terribly limited. But try finding one now, and it's harder than I thought. I didn't actually realise this until I started to do my tasting notes, etc., and was doing a little research, and realised that it is actually quite hard to get now. Bottled at 48%, non-chill filtered, no colour added. This was one of there was a wine finish series they did, and I just thought this one at 13 would fit well into this series of that awkward age, as I have discussed before. Spends most of its life in ex-bourbon casks, and then the best part of a couple of years in wine barriques, that wine being Rioja. As I said, 48%. Let's go, shall we? Sweet, powdered sugar, candied fruit, orange peel, barley sugar. There's a hint of marzipan right in there as well. Sponge cake with jam even. Yes. Golden syrup and vanilla custard. I did say it's like a sweet shop. Even more so, and I've used this before, a pudding in a glass. So it's a bit of a mixture between that, but there is a lot of candied fruit. This has been one of those whiskies that has changed, I have found, quite a bit in the time that I have had with it. It went from being, I found, very winey. It really seemed to pull on that wine character. But that wine character, as the bottle has went down, the wine character is there, but has settled down and settled down well, and left all those beautifully candied fruit sweet notes. Not a lot, I don't get an awful lot of fresh fruit going on. Orange, as I said, but certainly more a candied fruit. Very, very nice on the nose. Yeah, very good sweet and sour delivery. Much softer, less sharp than the nose would suggest. Coffee notes give way to all that sweetness and candied fruit that I was getting in the nose. But there is fresh fruit in the palate. Fresh strawberries, fresh raspberries in I'm going to suggest a thin syrup. Not a golden syrup, just a thin. I can't think. There's probably a name for this syrup, but it's not golden syrup, and it's just a thin syrup. It's quite sweet, but not an awful lot going on. So that fresh fruit is in along with just that sweetness. And also fruit and nut chocolate. Really good palate. It's in the finish. The finish is already there. The wininess then starts. There's a long finish, and that Rioja starts to show its face again. And it's very good, very nice, very long. As I said, sweet. Nice memories of that sweetness. Very, very good. I'm going to add 2 drops of water to this. When I did my tasting notes, I added water, and I added very little water. But it took very little, and it just seemed to drown it. So I've added a couple of drops there. What I actually did in my tasting notes, it drowned it a little too much. I let it settle, I went back again, and what I actually did was ended up topping it up with more whiskey to try and take a bit of that dilution out of it, and it came back to, yes, then it started to work again. Yeah. That marzipan, I mentioned marzipan earlier, it now becomes like candied almonds. And it does, it takes very little water. But I know from the notes, give it time and the sweetness starts to return and just blends a little better. A lot of those notes that I mentioned earlier on, which are quite bold, tend to start and blend together, and just the lines between those notes start to blur a bit. Yeah, more chocolate in the palate, more fruit. This is lovely on the palate. Yeah. Honeycomb, mulled wine, and even mulled wine with orange and clove. This would actually make a very good Christmassy whiskey. Slight powderiness in it now. Finish doesn't change a lot, but the finish was really good anyway. Yeah, I really like this. I know it may not be to some people's taste. If you haven't got a sweet tooth, there's a certain Dutchman, I'm sure a few of us know, whose name rhymes with Meat Fred. I don't think he would like this, because he's told me in the past he doesn't have a sweet tooth, and that's the thing. It is sweet, but sometimes when you're just in the mood for sweet, this is the sort of whiskey you want to reach for. If you still see it about 55 to 65 pounds, I think was the sort of price range. 13-year-old single malt, bottled at 48%, non-chill filter, no colour added. Is that the right price? Yes. That's a good price for it, in my opinion. Would I buy it again? If I seen it, I wouldn't go chasing it. I'll probably drag this bottle out for a while, but I would recommend it. If you see it, I would definitely recommend it, especially if you have got a bit of a sweet tooth. So there you go. I'll just maybe go and chastise my minions a little further, and I'll see you in a moment. Yes, so if you like this, what would I suggest? Well, it's a whiskey that I reviewed fairly recently, if you're watching this at time of release. And it's one I said earlier on about, I think I mentioned the pudding in the glass again, and this was another one. Sorry, this is another one which I described as a pudding in a glass. The Waterford Micro Cuvée Picnic Summer 2022 wine maturation once again. Pudding in a glass, yes, oh yes. Which one would I prefer? Hard to say. I think the Waterford is a bit richer. I think it is. It's not just, it's more creamy or something. but harder to get probably now, getting harder to get, more expensive. So yeah, I suppose these are a couple of whiskies now that are going off the radar a bit. It's just the way it is, isn't it? I mean, that's the way sometimes we have to review them. I just thought that the GlenAllachie 13 fit it well into this series. It's not 10, it's not 12, it's not 16, it's somewhere in between. So there you go. So there you have it. Yes, GlenAllachie 13. If you have a sweet tooth, if you enjoy wine finishes, yes, very definitely, yes. If not, no. Thank you very much for joining me. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you very, very much to my patrons. If you should wish to join that group, the details are in the video description below. Till the next time, my friends, here's your good health. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please click and subscribe to be notified of further content.